Welcome back to another episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast, the #1 podcast in the world for growing your insurance business. I'm Glenn Shelton, Brindle Nation. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me again this week. Christian Brindle is still on paternity leave. However, I have an incredible guest here today joining me, and I could not be more excited about it. Dalton Miller from Retire Flow. We're going to be chopping it up for the next hour with a variety of topics, as you can see in the title here. AI, AEP, iOS26, and so much more. We have some news as well I wanted to cover this morning, too. Dalton, but before I get into it, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Glenn, what a time to be alive. It is a pleasure to be on with you this morning on August 20th, 2025, the year of our Lord, to never replace Christian Brindle.
Never.
But to be on here in his shoes, I mean, there's lots of room in these shoes that I will never but it truly is a pleasure. And to Christian, who's taking care of baby Cyrus at home. I hope everything's going well, and we miss you, and we hope that you are back soon. I would imagine he's probably enjoying it and does not want to be back soon, considering coming back as AEP. But
for the normal human being, that would be true. For the normal human being, that would be true. However, Mr. Brindle has a disease called workaholism, and when you're a workaholic, taking time off is essentially just pure withdrawal from your favorite drug. So I think he's probably experiencing some withdrawals, but I've been trying to force him. I'm like, please take all the time you need. Your family needs you. Your baby needs you. Like, we've got this. We've got this. Look at this. The podcast is crushing still. We're still doing it.
And I approve this message. I mean, what's the difference?
Show everybody the shirt, Dalton. Show everybody the shirt.
Guys, if I'm going to do this podcast, I want everybody to know that I'm a seven-figure Medicare agent, okay? And I'm repping my favorite gym shirt. Honestly, I work out in it mostly.
Gets you that extra pump, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It gives you. You just do 7 extra sets, every time you do something.
Yes.
So. But I think it's got Retire Flow on the back here somewhere. I think
it does.
Check. Yeah,
it does. You're on there.
Oh yeah.
Proud sponsor of the Seven Figure Summit. Let's get into a couple things here. So first and foremost, I like to kind of start with anything that's trending or topical, news related, industry news.
Oh yeah.
We've talked on this show for so long about 2020. I guess it's 2025 final rule.
Yep.
That came out in 2024 that has had a stay on it in the Texas court system for what I believe is now over a year. And it's what we were originally told. Christian and I had somebody that was quote unquote supposedly with insider information told us we'd know by March or April of this year what was going on with it.
Right.
March and April came and went. Didn't really hear anything. The word on the street was that this was going to get tossed. There was too much in there. If you guys are new to this or you've been under a rock for the past 2-3 years while this was all going on, essentially this final rule was trying to regulate how overrides and commissions could be paid. That was one of the big things. There's a lot of different things in it, but that was the big one where everyone was really freaking out. The giant FMOs in the industry, these multi-billion-dollar FMOs were like, nah, you're not taking my paycheck. So, and arguably there's a relationship here, not to say FMOs are the bad guys, which many of you do want to point the finger at FMOs and say, why are you making money on my back, my work? The reality is there's a symbiotic relationship here between an FMO and an agent where if your FMO is truly supporting you and you have access to resources and technology and marketing and co-op and carriers and training and all the things that you need to succeed as an agent, you want your FMO to be making money when you're making money. It is a positive relationship typically overall. So that being said, I'm going to try to find this article and share my screen here. But what was your thoughts on this whole final rule situation as this has been playing out, Mr. Miller?
I love what you said, talking about the symbiotic relationship, that if you are unhappy with what your FMO is doing for you, then you're probably underserved. You should be looking at that relationship and saying to yourself, oh, I'm glad that I'm in business with this person. This is a business partner to me and supporting me.
Yes.
And what the final rule was, to some degree, was an absolutely lethal, set of language for FMOs and our large agency partners. It was something that would have been absolutely detrimental to those organizations existing. And I 100% agree with you that the sentiment around it was that this thing was going to get thrown out. However, it came to fruition last year, sort of out of the blue, and to have it linger for as long as it did. Now that it got held up in a Texas court thanks to Americans for Beneficiary Choice,
Yes.
Which I'm sure, I think everybody was pretty much involved in. I'm sure Glenn and Christian, where everybody was getting people to sign on to this.
For sure.
But for it to linger out there so long, I mean, imagine a lethal bullet, having been shot from a gun, somehow gets paused right at your temple, before it goes in. That's kind of what was going on here. So I would imagine that many your FMO partners are probably taking a deep breath. We thought that this is what was going to be the case, but for it to linger out there, that's a scary thing for a lot of people. So I'm thrilled to see it.
There's a video out there, you guys, you can find. Christian and I did an emergency podcast when this initially dropped. Yeah. And you can kind of see our reaction in real time. And it was very scary. It was very scary because, and as an FMO who, again, like on both sides of this, like, we're integrity partners. So we have an FMO above us, but then we're also an FMO and we're supporting downline agents. So we're literally in the middle of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was, I really like the analogy of a lethal bullet. It's like the Matrix.
That's what I was thinking about.
That's exactly, I know. The way you said that, like
Keanu Reeves in this, just like,
just like that bullet's coming. You're trying to do bullet time here. So I'll tear through this article. Mr. Brindle actually shared this in the group yesterday. Thank you, Christian, from your paternity leave jail cell.
Stay home, Christian.
We don't need you. Judge vacates Medicare Advantage marketing rule provisions. A district court in Texas ruled against the Department of Health and Human Services, deciding to vacate several provisions imposed last year, impacting how Medicare Advantage plans market products. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, finalized a rule in April 2024 that fixed broker and agent compensation and raised the pay cap for new enrollments. It also eliminated certain contracts between MA plans and third-party marketing organizations, as well as volume-based bonuses. A judge paused enforcement of the provisions last summer. The court said the rule exceeded statutory authority and violated the Administrative Producers Act, siding with Americans for Beneficiary Choice, which Dalton adequately just mentioned, and broker groups to vacate the provisions. However, here's the one but here.
Yes, and this is a big but.
This is a big but.
No, say it again, man. This is a big but. Okay.
This is a big booty here. Okay. Yeah. However, the court did uphold a provision requiring banning third-party marketing firms from distributing personal beneficiary data, such as names, addresses, and phone numbers, to other marketing organizations without consent.
Yep.
This provision was supported by Senator Ron Wyden, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's really the core of this is, and if you don't know who Helene Feingold is, she is essentially at the very tip top of the pyramid when it comes to understanding CMS legal regulations. So there's a little quote from here. The decision gives some level of certainty to the broker community as how it can structure operations and upstream and downstream arrangements moving forward.
Yeah. Glenn, can I say something here about that first half?
Yeah.
talking about
please do.
competition. And this is a I'm throwing a little bit of an alarmist bomb into the world here.
Ooh, here we go.
Just
Chicken Littles.
Let's shake it up this morning. So,
all right, let's do it.
Agents were, in many cases, first, the volume-based incentives for agents and FMOs based on production were at risk here. I know that many of you have an FMO who incentivize you to write more business because they want to see you grow. They want to help you get there, X, Y, and Z. If that bonus program that you were a part of last year went away at risk of the final rule passing, call your FMO and ask for it back because the final rule has been stayed. So I think there will be a lot of people out there who go, oh, I had an awesome relationship where I was striving towards to hit my goals and maybe got a bonus from my FMO. In this case, I think you should call your FMO and say, hey, you see the news? Let's get that program back alive. So anyways, not to just really.
Well, it'll be really interesting with marketing co-op money because this was referenced from the beginning as, hey, we really, we're changing how we're doing marketing co-op money because of this. We're not sure if we can do marketing co-op money because of this. So coming into this AEP, now that this has officially been tossed, because we've essentially been in purgatory for over a year now. What is that going to look? Are we going to go back to how it was? Are people still going to be re-envisioning how this is going to work moving forward? I kind of feel like it's probably already changed.
It probably is already baked. And you're right about that, Glenn. But I think, it's great that all that stuff is gone, that looming issue. But
yes,
the sharing of beneficiary data and personal contact information, I think, is indicative of a lot of the other things that we're going to talk about today.
Yes,
but is very, very important to note going forward. I'm actually curious. Can I reverse interview you for a second?
Please do. Fire away.
So as a result of this.
He went from guest host to host of the show, guys, just like that. Do you see who he hit? It's dangerous. Dalton Miller's dangerous. He's pretending to be Christian. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on.
I don't even know. I didn't tell
equity. Do I have to give you equity now? Like, what is going? This is wild.
I'm moving to Salt Lake City. I bought a house right next to you. No, I can't afford to buy a house right now. But okay, so you do a wonderful job of managing one of the premier
thank you.
Lead agencies in this country. I know it is one of the premier lead agencies in this country. And this is for the folks who are listening, because I regularly bump into large institutional partners, big organizations in Medicare who are in conversations with lead heroes who are distributing, and working with their agents to deliver lead heroes leads to people. How does this find you? This section, because I think for a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, lead organizations who are probably not doing things, the way that, they should be being done. This is a very scary line. My hunch is that it's probably the opposite for you, because when things get tough, the cream rises to the top.
So when I started Lead Heroes, it was really fun. I was generating a lead for an agent, solving a problem.
Yeah.
I was right there at the front of it. As the company has grown over the past decade, I spend an incredible amount of my day-to-day, you guys, dealing with attorneys, dealing with compliance officers, dealing with executives. We're going through how is this defined? Is this okay? Is this not okay? And then on top of it, you have all of these different understandings and interpretations from different parties. So I live in this world, unfortunately, and it's not nearly as fun or as exciting as it once was, because here I am. I'm kind of bound. I'm like kind of bound to this now, where I'm like, okay, let's get into this. So here's the kind of the good and bad of it. So the good news is first and foremost is I really do support the core of this. I think the idea that some shadow organization could come along and harvest a bunch of beneficiary data and then shovel it off to, who knows, 100 different entities, right? Like, I don't think any of us are going to sit here and say we can support that. I don't support that, right? So
bad for business.
At the core of this, yeah, exactly. Bad for the beneficiary, bad for business. At the core of this, I do support it for sure.
Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets crazy is Lead Heroes, as an example, is a fully owned subsidiary of Everything Senior Insurance. So technically, Everything Senior Insurance 100% owns Lead Heroes. Legally, Lead Heroes still cannot pass beneficiary information to Everything Senior Insurance without full disclosure and 100%. Consent from the beneficiary. That's how that rule works that we just read. That's how it was rolled out originally. And that, with that still being in the rule today, that's still how it works. So you have all of these different companies that have vertically integrated that you would think they're, same ownership, same company, essentially. They should be able to pass information between, but they cannot. It's not allowed. So what does that mean for Lead Heroes and the future of leads and what we're doing? Well, it's really a pretty simple solution, to be honest. We just have to capture that one-to-one consent verbally while we've got that prospect on the phone.
Yeah.
So instead of what historically may have been something more generic, we say, hey, Mrs. Jones, or no, you're Susie Senior, right?
How do you know that? Yes, I am Susie Senior.
Susie Senior. Sorry, I want to use the right term here. Okay. Hi, Susie Senior. Yes, I've got licensed agent Dalton Miller on the other line. He'd like to help you. Would that be okay if we transferred you to him now? And then boom, it's really that simple. And obviously, if it's going through an online platform, you have to capture that in written form, right? Again, that same one-to-one consent where whoever that end user is that's actually getting to work with that senior, it's mentioned right there on the form. So it sounds a lot scarier than it actually is, I guess, is kind of what, because I did. When I first read that the first time, I remember thinking, I'm like, this is a death blow. I'm like, I don't know how anyone markets anymore. I'm like, the marketing industry just got shot in the head overnight, like it's gone.
Right.
No, Great question though. I appreciate the question, Mr. Host.
But it's indicative of the organization that you're running, and that it's that, good organizations adapt, other ones, continue to do things by the book, but at least there's some clarity now about this. Yes. You're right. And I would like to submit a formal complaint to what's called the Health Plan Management System. I don't know if you're familiar with HP.
Oh, yes.
They suffer from the same disease as well.
Absolutely.
When you're submitting for CMS compliance approval on things, you're having to sort through the opinions of 20 different compliance officers from different organizations across the country who are not federal employees. They are they're privately owned companies who are making decisions about what is considered compliant or not. So I feel you. And I feel you.
I'll share this story really fast. I had a major FMO was going kind of butting heads over emails about compliance, get on a Zoom call with this person. And they were under the impression that the FCC one-to-one consent rule did not get vacated. They were like, this happened. And I'm like, no, it did not. It's gone. I'm like, I was like, at the 12th hour, it got vacated. It got tossed. And so that's the scary part, is sometimes you have these people that are in charge of a lot of agents, disseminating information that is just wrong. And that's where it gets dicey. It gets very dicey.
Very, very, very dicey.
Let's keep rolling though. I think we did a good job going through. Let's keep rolling. You have more? You want to get more?
No, I want to talk about. I think on the same subject, I think this dovetails right into iOS26.
Yes,
because so not only is the federal government making these rules clear, or clearer at least, on how the lead environment is going to look, and how, proactively reaching out to your clients is going to, what that experience is going to be like. Now the world's largest tech company has an opinion as well. And with an update that comes, I believe, on September 9th, or is it September 20th? I don't know. You'd probably know better than I do.
Sometime in the next month. I honestly don't have the exact date, but why don't, for those who might be hearing this and they haven't heard anything about iOS 26, give them a quick recap.
Yeah. So our friends at Apple, who run every phone on planet Earth. Let's be honest. People have Androids, but then you've got green texts. I mean, it's just I would never do such a thing. This is not a paid sponsor for Apple. It's not. But have a brand new software update that's coming to all of their platforms and all of their tools, whether it's an iPad, computer, phone, whatever it is, to massively update every single thing and run it on the same processing system. But within that, and Glenn, I'll probably defer to you on the specifics of exactly what it entails. But within that is some changes in how unsaved contacts hit when that person calls your phone, how that interacts with your phone, if it is even allowed to go through or not. Yes. But the universe of call screening has changed pretty dramatically, from my understanding.
Correct. Okay, so I'm sure the update has a lot more in it.
Yes.
Beyond this, but here's the big talking point.
It's going to make the iPhone look really pretty.
There is some cool stuff. There's like you'll be able to like set your background to like a live photo and like be able to like have to. There's all sorts of crazy stuff in here, but the piece of this iOS update that has caused a firestorm essentially with marketers is exactly what Dalton just said. There's a call screening feature coming out. Now, here's where I've heard all sides of this at this point. I have my own opinion on this. I'm sure you have your own opinion. I'm really excited to talk to you about this because I feel like you're in the space that you're in. I feel like you're going to probably know more than maybe the average Joe. So here's my thoughts, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts. And it's okay if we have different opinions.
Totally.
Okay, we're friends. Okay,
yeah, the romance lives on, folks.
Yes, we're friends. We're lovers. We keep moving forward. Okay. So there is some individuals out there who are inflating this to the degree that they believe all outreach over the phone is going to be dead unless your name is saved in your prospect's phone.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they are inflating this on purpose for marketing reasons, right? They're trying to get their own software, their own solution out to the masses. So they're fanning the flames of iOS 26.
Right.
And you know what? Hey, all is fair in capitalism, right? Do what you want to do. If this is how you want to run your business, fan the flames of iOS 26. You should see some of the ads I've seen. You may have even seen some of the same ads I've seen where it's literally like, the death of telesales is just around the corner, Dalton. You will never be able to sell over the phone again. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
This morning, holy cow.
It's insane. So I spent a lot of, obviously, again, Dalton mentioned Lead Heroes. Like, I own a call center with Christian. Like, this is super important to me. Like, if outreach to seniors is going to die overnight, I kind of need to know about it. Right. So here's
I was just going to say, while the listeners of this podcast, want to believe that the world revolves around Medicare, which to some degree it does, in the sense that, the people that we serve and what our jobs are. But I would also remind you that iOS 26 applies to the circumference of everyone's life, whether they have an appointment with their doctor's office and they're getting a robocall to remind them of their doctor's appointment, whether they are, somebody's coming to fix their refrigerator and they
keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And so what that tells me is, I cannot, I'm 29 years old. I can't predict the people that are going to call me in my life. I don't know if someone out there whose number I do not have saved is going to contact me. That if I can predict that future, that would be amazing, but I can't. So while that there are additional screening and things are getting more stringent, I think that everyone is going to adapt to this. I don't think everyone is going to immediately never begin to receive phone calls from numbers they don't know. And so now there will be folks out there who utilize this, who like that feature, who say, I want to only talk to the 4 people that I know in my life, and I'm going to turn that up, but I don't think, in my personal opinion, that it's the end of the world. I think there's creative ways that you can get around it. But these are creative things that you should be doing anyway. If you're going to be thoughtful and, if you're going to be sitting in front of someone, making sure that they save your contact in their phone is a good business practice.
Absolutely.
Having business cards that are easy to read, that you can easily save things. But my opinion is that while it will add maybe an additional layer of difficulty, people have to live their lives, and you're going to receive phone calls from people you don't have saved in your contacts.
Yes. So, and I love everything Dalton said right there. I really do. And
we love each other. So
we do. We love each other. I hope. Christian, I'm sorry. I knew this was going to happen. The second Dalton agreed to do this, I knew
for our listeners at home. People are just listening on Spotify.
Just the audio listeners.
Yeah.
So, a couple things to get into on this is, one is this has been available on Android since like 2017, this exact feature. It essentially doesn't exist in the Android sphere. Like, I've personally encountered it maybe once over the past 8 years of my own phone calls, calling all sorts of different people. So that's kind of one thing to take away. And then you have some people who are like, well, that doesn't mean shit because Apple users are power users and they adopt everything. It's like, okay, well, maybe there's some truth to that. But this is also a feature that's optional. It's not going to be turned on the second the update hits your phone. Sure. This is something where the end user has to go in and say, yes, start screening my calls, please.
And our senior beneficiaries, they're people who are regularly checking their iPhone settings, correct? No, ladies and gentlemen. No. We know that would be silly for you to think. We love our senior clients, but these are not people who are watching that one YouTube guy, Marcus, up to, do an unboxing video of the newest iPhone.
Yes.
They're not. We love them, but they got their son or daughter helped them get an iPhone. They've increased the font size, and that's the settings that they're rocking with for as long as they've got
100%. 100%. And I talked to someone recently who said, well, I'm telling my parents about it the second it comes out. Okay. When
the incoming inbound phone calls stop in other parts of their life, they're going to go, oh my God,
I need to turn this off.
I got to turn this off. If I'm missing important updates from, people, if the pizza delivery guy is contacting me on my front door and saying, hey,
I can't find your house. Yeah.
I'm not going to receive that phone call. That's whack. I need pizza.
Yeah.
So that I think it's probably the right thing from a technology perspective. I understand why Apple's doing it. You're right. Android's had it for a long time. Not Andrew Lee, Android. Shout out.
Andrew Lee.
I was just on my mind. Good Brindle talent. But I don't think it's the end of the world. However, it is something to think about.
Yes.
How do my clients see me when I call them? What is
absolutely
their first impression of me? Is there is my phone number saved? Do I have a contact photo in my Apple contacts so that way they can easily save it when they receive a text message from me? Those kind of things are really, really important.
With hundreds of insurance agents and agency owners at the event, this could not be a better opportunity to spotlight your business. If you're looking for a sponsorship opportunity and where to spend your sponsorship dollars this year, the Seven Figure Medicare Agent Summit is the spot to do it. You can have your own booth. You can network with agents. This is the 4th annual summit, so there's going to be a lot of agents there and a lot of agents who are looking for help from vendors for leads, educational vendors. You could have a software tool. There's so many great vendors that we've had in the past, and we're looking at a lot of great opportunities for businesses to sponsor at the Seven Figure Medicare Agent Summit. So if you are looking for a sponsorship opportunity, make sure to check out sevenfiguresmedicareagentsummit.com.
Get your tickets today while they're still available and reach out about sponsorship opportunities. We'd love to have you involved with the Seven Figure Medicare Agent Summit in 2025. Now back to the show.
So for those who are, again, kind of under a rock, or maybe you missed some of this over the past 5 years, something that came out, I want to say it was like 2021, the Stir Shake protocol, where essentially the government came out and they were trying to combat the spam phone calls that were being, traffic coming from overseas, traffic coming from here in the States, and they were trying to attack it at the carrier level. And they basically said, like, hey, you guys got to stop sending these calls to the end users.
Right.
In my opinion, that was and still is the biggest threat that you can experience as an agent, as an agency owner. When you make a phone call and your number shows up as spam, that's what's really going to kill you here.
Yes.
This iOS 26 update, I think the only thing that in my mind kind of justifies any type of freak out over this is that the idea that maybe something like this in the far future, 2, 3 years, 4 years from now, maybe this becomes normal. Maybe this is like it is automatically on everyone's phone. But
and iOS 26 will be going forward on new iPhones purchased. But everybody at home, really think to yourself, okay, when the new iPhone update comes out on September, let's call it 20th. First of all, many of you probably didn't hear about it until we're talking about it this morning. Is Susie Senior rushing to her iPhone settings and doing a borderline factory reset on her phone to update to get access to all the new features? No, she's not. Okay? She's not. Like, we love her, but she ain't doing that,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I can't really stress it enough. I think that there's so many things to point to that this is a non-issue. This isn't new technology. This has been around for a while and it was never really adopted. This isn't going to be turned on all phones the second it comes out. Not all devices are going to be eligible to get the new iOS. I mean, let's talk about all the old iPhones that are still active out there. I mean, I can't begin to tell you what the percentage is, but you start to narrow this down. I mean, if I had to take a stab, I would guess the adoption rate for this is going to be like sub 3%.
Well, especially amongst our beneficiaries.
Especially,
I think that's a high number. 3 is high. I mean, I think worldwide 3%, 3 or 4%, but if amongst our beneficiaries, significantly less. Now going forward, but again, it's just, if I'm a Medicare agent, I'm seeing and hearing these things and not thinking, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I'm thinking, this is where this stuff is going. Okay. We're seeing there's a greader trend here, and I might make small tweaks to my business today to anticipate that in the future, but not, oh my God, the world has stopped spinning. Let me do something to remediate it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Guys, I want to take a pause here and talk about today's sponsor of episode 141 of the 7 Figures or Bust podcast. It is none other than the Everything Senior Insurance virtual kickoff event for AEP 2026. It's coming up September 8th. That's Monday, September 8th, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. God bless Mr. Brindle. He loves to put everything in Mountain Standard Time, even though most of you have no idea what time zone that is. That's 10 a.m. Eastern. For those of you who are on the East Coast, and if you're Pacific like me, that's 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Christian and myself will be speaking. We also have a bunch of major Medicare carriers that are involved that will also be sharing information. If you are lost, confused, scared about AEP, which I know a lot of you are, I'm already getting the DMs. Register for this event. Please, please, please register for this event. We almost have 800 agents already registered. Wow. The link will be in the comments below the stream. You can also head over to aep.esenior-insurance.com and you can find it there if you're listening to the audio only. We also have it up all over the place. You can find it here in the group, the 7-Figure Medicare Agent Facebook group. We have an event created. So again, that's Monday, September 8th, 7 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Mountain, and 10 a.m. Eastern. Sign up.
How much does it cost to come to that event?
Thank you for asking, Dalton. It is 100% free. Free.
Hold on. So you're Glenn. No, this can't be. So you're telling me that Glenn Shelton and Christian Brindle, leading minds in the Medicare industry, are hosting an AEP preparation meeting, and I can go for no cost, no dollars, no nothing.
Zilch.
Do I have to be a Brindle Nation downline to come to that?
You do not.
So I could come? I mean, are you saying that I
can come. Anybody can come for free, not just contracted agents,
guys,
not Lead Heroes clients. Anybody can come. Register. It's 100% free. You're not going to want to miss this. It's also very timely. You don't want to wait and be like, I'll catch the recording later. We don't even know where the recording's going to end up, okay? Get on there live. We need you on there live so we can figure out AEP 2026 together.
Where's the recording? I can see the Facebook post.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Where is it? All caps.
So, this is a great transition. I want to get into AI still, but this is a great transition. I want to talk again. We have the Dalton Miller Retire Flow here, you guys. Let's get into some of these agent messages. Let's get into how to best interact with vendors in the insurance industry. I've talked about this before, but I think it's very timely to talk about this again, especially with Dalton here. So Dalton, walk me through this. I know you're with AEP around the corner. You're dealing with a high volume of messages right now. Your company is, right? And maybe take a second if someone, again, brand new to the podcast, brand new to the industry, if they don't know what Retire Flow is, hit them with Retire Flow. What is that?
All right. Well, great question, Glenn. And I'm very, very excited to talk about this subject. So Retire Flow. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. That's why I know many of you already. Retire Flow is America's leading insurance survey provider. And you're like, surveys, what does that mean? That sounds like, check yes if you want to go on a date. It's not that. We help insurance.
It's Tinder.
Agents. Yeah, it's Tinder for insurance agents. It's not that. It's not. We help Medicare agents collect the things that they need before every meeting. That includes drugs, doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies. We help collect those drugs in a way that's spelled right every single time. Dosage, quantity, frequency, package, branded the generic. We help you achieve permission to contact. So all that scary stuff we talked about at the beginning of this phone call or at the beginning of this podcast, we help you capture that. And then lastly, we also capture that pesky 48-hour scope of appointment form. And we do that through this very senior-friendly, humongous font, beautiful online survey. So if Glenn were to sign up, he'd get retireflow.com/Glenn. He could send this out to his clients and capture all of those three things, all that health information, drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, permission to contact and a scope before every single meeting. And agents use this to bulk update their entire books of business by simply sending an email to them. And so it's incredibly timely as formularies change across the country to get fresh, healthy updates on these types of things. But Glenn recognizes that our service has grown quite a bit, and we're very, very proud of that. We launched Retire Flow in 2023 on September 15th, and we proudly served 150 agents across the country in our first AEP. It was great, but not enough to run a business. Today, Retire Flow serves 10,000 agents across the country. We made it our mission to go out and see everybody and meet everyone last year, and we did. And Glenn and Christian were fantastic in helping us do that. Some of our best partners in that world. So that's what we do. And today we've released a suite of brand new integrations that is welcoming new people to our product in droves. Our biggest news probably ever is that Retire Flow now serves as the first third-party integration into Integrity's Medicare Center. So,
boom!
Yeah, it's a big deal for us, and it's something that we're exceptionally proud of. We are an Integrity downline ourselves at the agency that I come from, and so it means a lot to us that we can help deliver drugs, doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies contact information right into Medicare Center. So if you're looking for ways to do that, or also maybe update your book of business's PHI, use Retire Flow for that. That's what we do. We'd love to show you that. But with this dramatic growth, we've experienced people wanting to ask us a lot of questions. And so I think one of the things Glenn is joking about, but so am I, but also not, is that if you're an insurance agent out there and you want to make your software tools work, make sure you call the right software tool to ask them for help. So I don't know how to fix your television. I don't know how to make your emails work. I know how to help you collect PHI. And so, and just speaking on behalf of Glenn, who runs Seven Figure CRM, who we proudly integrate with here at Retire Flow as well, which is a big deal for us. When you have a question about your CRM, they're the right people to call. When you have a question about your enrollment platform, call the enrollment platform and ask them a question. So
let me ask you, how much, because we get some of this too, but the way that this came up so fast, I have a feeling there's a large percent. What percentage of questions, or maybe there's a volume number of, like, how many are asking you questions about a service that's not your own, right? That's maybe something you integrate into, or
almost 100% of the time in some form or fashion. I would tell you that maybe 90%. Now,
guys, prayers for Dalton, please. Everyone, prayers for Dalton, this AEP.
We are proud of this, okay? And this is not a bad thing. And actually, we like to take that stuff on. But our only ask is that you come to us politely and say, help here. We recognize this might not be your wheelhouse, but we'd love some help. And I'm serious. I don't want that to stop. But the nature of this is that people just are looking for assistance, and you just got to know who to work with and know how to effectively get answers to the questions that you're looking for. The other thing that I would say to take some steam out of the kettle here is everybody wants the perfect workflow. Everybody wants for you to log on to your computer in the morning, turn it on, and that leads come in and they're perfectly formatted and they go into their enrollment tool, and that person's already scheduled on your book, on your calendar, and then you hop on, you click a link, and then you say, hey, here's the plan I think you should roll in, and then enroll them in a plan. for many people, that is the case. That is the reality. I mean, we've come that far. And especially for our high efficiency agents who write and are watching this stuff and are listening to Glenn and Christian's podcast every week. But if you spend your life concerned about the perfect workflow, and I want this email to go and this automation to go and this automation to go, you lose sight of why we're in this business. And the reason we're in this business is to serve seniors and to serve more of them. And my opinion is, if agents spent the amount of time worrying about integrations they did on marketing and new sales and finding clients to work with, that they might grow their businesses faster than if they have a perfect automation. Automations are awesome. You know, putting things in workflows is the right thing to do. You should be doing it. But if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, did the tree fall? If you have a perfect workflow and you have no seniors to go through it, what the hell are you doing? So it's like that George Bush, shame on you. That's my I want everybody at this time on August 20th, the time that we're taping this, to stop asking yourself, what CRM should I be using for my AEP?
Yes.
Focus on writing some business. Find some seniors to work with. And when you find one, tell them that you would love to help their friends and family as well. It is forgotten art. And if you do that, you will grow your business fast. Tune in when you're in your off hours to things that Retire Flow puts out, that I put out, that Glenn and Christian put out. And those things will all fall into place in the background. I mean, I'm not saying to stop, but it's just mayhem out there. It's absolute mayhem.
It is. And especially this time of year, right? We're getting close to AEP. So, a lot of you who don't really interact in the industry unless it's around AEP time, I can't even begin to guess what that number looks like, but there's a lot of agents who I won't hear from unless it's within this kind of small window. And so you guys are trying to play catch up, and, we've been at this 24/7, 365. So it's like, we've been in it. But yeah, I think showing some patience, understanding that like you're interacting with humans, right?
Yes.
And I will say too, like, I've lost clients at Lead Heroes. So a big part of the leads is, integrating into CRMs, integrating those workflows, those automations. And we've lost clients because it was taking too long to perfect that workflow, where it's like, it's still not quite showing up like this. It's still missing this. And we're doing our best to try to smooth this all out again. A lot of times we're essentially trying to fix the back-end technology solution that has nothing to do with Lead Heroes, right? Which is why we charge for that integration, because we're literally spending our manpower to try to fix your software, right? So
getting a hold of people at these software companies, I get regularly in all caps in my email box, in the Facebook group, whatever. When will Retire Flow integrate with blank? And let me tell you something, folks. I'm going to say something out loud here. If you don't think that I know about the tool that you're using, I've heard of every tool that's in the industry. Oftentimes people come to us today and say, hey, we're going to come out and launch this tool. We know about things before they come out.
True.
If you don't think I know about it, there's a reason why maybe that tool doesn't integrate with us. And maybe instead of asking Team Retire Flow, why don't you call them and ask them? Our door's open in a spirit of collaboration. I worked with Glenn and Christian, and who are forward thinking, bringing cool technology tools to agents. And I said, hey, let's work together. And I mean, Glenn and Christian gave me a big hug and said, absolutely. That's the right attitude. That I think.
Very big hug.
Very big hug. Yeah, and we lingered for too long. People were asking. But go to that tool and say, hey, why don't you go work with those guys at Retire Flow? Everybody's got my contact information. My phone has rang 75 times during this. You know how to get a hold of me. My door is open. And we want to work with the systems that you utilize, but there is a limited time of the day. And if I'm not careful, I will have similar haircuts as Glenn and Christian, and not that that's a bad thing at all. It's probably my future. I don't know if you've seen my dad.
It's definitely coming for you. It's 20. When you said 29, I was like, oh, 29. I'm like, that's why he still has hair. Okay.
If you look at our podcast last year when we did this, it probably looked a little bit better. So I just my call to action for folks is pick your systems.
Yes.
Identify what you're going to do. Tune in to Glenn and Christian's free AEP prep conference.
Yes.
We did one of these. It was awesome. You can watch ours on YouTube. It was called Flow Day. And you can learn about what we do at my home agency. We serve 25,000 beneficiaries with just 8 sales agents. So we posted our game plan as well. Go to watch both. Why not?
Yes.
Pick your systems and rock and roll. If you wake up every day and think about how can I find more clients to serve, I think you will find yourself on December 7th having served more clients.
Yes.
And that's that. I mean, I write it on your ceiling so that way when you wake up every day, there's a picture of Susie Senior up there. Like focus on that. That's how I run Retire Flow. That's how Glenn runs Lead Heroes.
Absolutely.
And
Hire
Heroes.
How can we help more? Yes.
Which also I'm sad that we didn't really get the chance to talk about, because Hire Heroes is also fantastic. And I think go ahead.
I wanted to mention this really fast. So, we just did this big webinar about Hire Heroes, and Retire Flow really helps solve a solution, because part of growing a company is not just protecting your own time, but you get to the point as you grow is like, how can I protect my employees' time? Or even if you just have one virtual assistant, even if it's just you and one virtual assistant, part of your thought process should be, how can I protect my virtual assistant's time so they're just focusing on the greatest task, the most, the highest ROI that they can get on their time to help me and help the agency, help me produce more as an agent. And, while a virtual assistant can definitely call up a beneficiary and try to get all their medication information over the phone, it is a very time-consuming task, not to mention room for error, etc. So really on our Hire Heroes webinar, what I outlined is this process that not only do we utilize internally at our agency, but that we recommend to all of our Hire Heroes clients, is using Retire Flow to capture as much as you possibly can, whether that's 60, 70, 80, 90%,
right? And
then bring in that virtual assistant to play cleanup, to make sure you get those scopes, to make sure you get all the medication, the doctors, and then you as an agent or you as an agency owner, you're completely removed from the whole thing. So I love what you're doing. And I think there's a huge need for technology tools like this to help agents to protect their time.
Well, I think about it like this, Glenn. The next time somebody is out there, if you're a Medicare agent listening to this, and later today you're working with a new client and you're on the phone listening to them try to spell levothyroxine one letter at a time, and I did this at Andrew Lee's conference.
Yeah.
Or worse, and there's some silliness in this, but it's also kind of serious. Where you're listening to one of your clients tell you about the lotion that they put on their groin. There is a better way. There is a better way. And I joke about that, but think about somebody who might take an AIDS prevention medicine or something like that, where they don't necessarily feel comfortable, expressing these things over the phone, when they can enter into a secure portal that they can share these things privately with you. We're not doctors. We're not, but yet we have to know these things if we're going to do a nice job for people. So I think, having a professional front door for that stuff is really, really important.
I really couldn't agree with you more. Dalton, we're getting towards the top of the hour here. I want to touch on a final topic here, then we'll get into some final thoughts. So AI is kind of the last thing we haven't breached yet. And this kind of ties into that iOS26 conversation of, what does this future look like, especially in the technology world, right? Which you live in, I'm a part of. How does AI come into the picture here? Are we looking at D-Day right now? Like, is this Skynet coming online? Again, there's the chicken littles out there who look at ChatGPT or other AI tools and they say, oh man, we're doomed. This is over. Give me your thoughts on the state of AI today and where you see this going in the future.
This is a great question. If you have an experience, you the Medicare agent have an experience where you interact with an artificial intelligence type of system and you have a positive experience with it, maybe that's something that you should consider adopting for your home agency. No one is out there using AI's Elon Musk's Tesla robot to write your Medicare business. It's just not happening. It's not happening because that's not what our beneficiaries want. They'll probably be the last audience to want to adopt, new tools. And then you shouldn't be thinking of, well, maybe they don't know it's AI and I could use it in a deceitful, not deceitful, but a way that they don't understand. They can tell. So my attitude is if you see something out there that's working and you have a positive experience where maybe there's some sort of booking experience where you go out in your real life and you see something, or maybe you watch a YouTube video on how people are using ChatGPT to organize Excel spreadsheets and things like that. Or if there's any tools I look at tools like Ask Integrity, which are incredibly helpful. Asking your phone, when's the last time somebody updated their drug cabinet? Those are helpful things. But take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, because you're using AI, Dr. Mehmet Oz is not going to give you a gold star. I'm gonna be honest with you. No one cares. Okay. Okay. He doesn't care. He's going to smile.
Frozen.
And I'm not trying to say
no reaction
in a negative way. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but agents go on and they're like, well, we're using AI to do cool. How many seniors have you served? Are you serving more because you've adopted this technology? If yes, you win. If you're doing it just to do it, who cares? I almost said something worse, but it's the reality. That's my attitude on it. And there are ways to use it, but
it absolutely ties back to that CRM conversation of the agent who will shop around and they'll look at 6 different CRMs over 6 months and they don't use any of them. And AI has kind of fit into this same paradox of getting so lost in the tools that you're not even actually serving the seniors, like you're saying. ChatGPT is incredible. I mean, last night I had a huge list of phone numbers and I was trying to get a state count based on area codes.
Yep.
There's no easy way to do this, but I've just copied and pasted it right there into ChatGPT. And historically, that's probably something I would have assigned to one of my team members. I would have been like, hey, here's this huge list of phone numbers. I need to know the state breakdown. And it would have taken their time and I would have had to pay them. And that's expensive. ChatGPT did it like that. So
yes,
AI has a place. AI is a very useful tool, similar to RetireFlow. Like, it's a very useful tool, but if you're not actually using it to be productive, what's the point, right? I mean, yeah.
Agreed. No, 100% agreed. And by the way, if you've never been on ChatGPT, go there, check it out, try it. Find reasons to go look at it and see what works for you. But there is no AI Gold Star award that you get. There is, however, commission associated with serving more seniors.
Yes. I love that. I absolutely love that. My nickname, but you guys, for ChatGPT is Chatty G, by the way. I'll let you guys see that. I've seen
Chatty G. Chatty G talk about. I mean, are you
Chatty G? Oh, if only you could see my private conversations with my AI robot. If only. Maybe it'll leak online one day. We'll see. Guys, if you made it all the way to the end of today's episode 141 of the 7 Figures or Bust podcast, you are the MVP. I had so much fun today talking with the friend of the show, co-host, soon to potentially take over as host based on how today's conversation went. Christian's in danger, you guys. Someone needs to tell him. Dalton Miller over at RetireFlow. Again, check out RetireFlow if you have any sort of need, which we all do in the Medicare space, with capturing beneficiary information in a compliant, easy format, not just for you, but also for your beneficiaries. And it integrates into a variety of other technology solutions. And guess what? If it doesn't integrate, just send Dalton like 10 messages about it. Okay? Send him 10 messages, text him, DM him, hit him on his email and say, why doesn't this integrate with this yet? He loves it. He needs those. Final thoughts, though. Mr. Miller, give us your final thoughts on today's episode. Anything else that needs to get out there into the world? Now is your time.
Well, I'll start with this. If you are if you're new to RetireFlow, use promo code Brindle40, all caps.
Ooh.
You get access to all RetireFlow surveys at 40% off, which is very good. All caps Brindle40. So if you made it this far, you get that promo code.
Nice.
The other thing I would share is nothing out there right now is more the end of the world than the fact that AEP is 55 days away. There is no technology tool. There is no iOS update. There is no final rule that is as pressing to you, the Medicare agent, as finding more seniors to work with. So I think if you wake up every single day with that attitude that, okay, I'm seeing where the greater trends are going in this industry, with permission to contact and how the technology is going to support me in that world, knowing that that's coming and making small tweaks every AEP to get better and better and better, that's the right attitude, but always keeping front and center on the pedestal. Find more seniors to work with. Do not be bashful. People need your help. People want sound guidance. They don't want to call Joe Namath. They want to work with you. They just don't know that you exist right now.
Yes.
And so make them. Hi, my name is Dalton Miller, and I'm a Medicare agent. Wear the button, go to whatever event, tell people about what you do proudly, and you will be better off for it. Your business will grow, and then utilize RetireFlow so you're not working until midnight every AEP day.
Boom. I love it. My final thoughts, you guys. I think what Dalton said there, the 55 days, wow. That is such a small number.
Gets me in the chest.
55 days. Dalton's always been like the bearer of bad news when it comes to that countdown clock. It's like the doomsday clock. I swear to God, like every morning, I think he's waking up and moving it. He's like, we're this much closer to midnight. He's like moving the doomsday. I swear you are.
I'm like, what I watched? I watched before I went to bed last night? I watched Final Destination. I'm the premonition that you're experiencing right now. Okay?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So 55 days, you guys. Like, now is the time. Sign up for the Everything Senior Insurance AEP 2026 kickoff webinar. Again, the link's in the comments below the stream. Bunch of different places you can find that, including in the Facebook group. If you're listening to this on an audio platform, we would love a 5-star review. If you're watching us on the replay on our YouTube channel, the 7 Figures or Bust YouTube channel, give us a comment on the YouTube video, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you guys. Also, freebie Fridays, every single Friday right here in the group. If you comment on one of the live stream videos that's in the 7 Figure Facebook group, that automatically enters you into the giveaway, and we do a giveaway every single Friday. So just comment on one of the streams, whether it's live or replay, and that automatically enters you. And until next time, you guys, happy selling. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you again, Mr. Miller.
Thanks, Glenn.